Norway is working with a reduced lineup. Well, I only have 3 Norwegian members. We got Sinks, we got Anti Baguette and Dumle that are on the server. With over on the Finnish contingent, we got Marmeladi, we got Mikaskov, Wufeli, Sake, and Alexi.
All right, well, let's make sure I have a couple of seconds before everything is set up. Oh no,
Yeah,
let me doing production things, production things.
Yeah, production things. Oh,
uh.
yeah. Hey, production! Welcome to behind the scenes. Welcome to my life.
Look at that! Is it there? Hey, look at that! Finland
Hey,
versus
there we go.
Norway. Seed-wise, honestly, look at that. Seed 13 versus Seed 3. Because yeah, Norway has definitely some great results in the campaign in general, right? I'm not quite sure what the overall score is at the moment, but 16, getting ourselves onto the grass.
Okay, so that means we're on a 2-1. We don't know for which team, but it's a 2-1. So we are currently on the second Norwegian pick. And then after that, if we do see whoever was down one map, if it wins it, then it will be 11. That's the way we're just gonna roll with this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna make it 1-1 at least, and if somebody comes in like, "Hey, it's 2-1 for them," then you know, I'll just get corrected. That's the way I do things usually.
Yes. Well, in the meantime, we did see, whilst we were actually trying to settle ourselves in the groove, we did see the Norwegian team actually driving a pretty convincing round so far, especially from Andy Baguette, clocking in at 42-7 and leading an ace for the Norwegian team. So it will be the red side leading 1-0.
Yeah, solid performance right there. 16 has definitely been a map pick from them a couple times already. We've been, last time around, we did see them perform quite well here. And so I'm not very surprised that this is the one they're going with. Not sure how the grass is feeling on the Finnish side right now. We do see Marmeladi, Wufeli, and Mikoskov keeping up the pace, making sure to keep Norway honest here. And Dumle and Sinks just taking different lines there as well. I think Sinks went a bit too high there. We'll be sliding out and falling behind, and it's looking favorable for Finland. Definitely not as dominating as we saw during round number 1. Dumle and Marmeladi, though. Tough fight between the two. Let's see if we can get the bird's eye view. There we go. Dumle does have the lead at the time being. Marmelada, not as much speed out of the plastic. Will pick up the first place, but where's the rest of the team? Unfortunately, 5th and 6th, so it will be a Finnish victory.
That's the favorite. That's the perfect time to actually get that. I think that's my favorite kind of thing to yell team whenever you're just like all on your own, especially in matchmaking. That happened to me a lot whenever I was doing solo queuing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just first like 5th and 6th, you're like, where's the backup? As
exactly
we're started with round number 3, and it's pretty much even Stevens for now on the scoring stands. Oh, Andy Baguette managing to avoid hitting the barrier from the top there on the transition into the second sector, and it will be pretty much a formation run for Norway with Dumle, Andy Baguette, and Sinks trading positions. This time it will be Marmeladi trying to break those up, and also Mikaskov trying to make it a little bit more interesting, battling with Andy Baguette for the benefit of 4th position at the moment. Marmeladi moving up into the lead. Dumle and Sinks trying to get some inroads onto the Finnish driver, but it was not enough for them. But ultimately, they still stayed in the relevant positions of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And despite Mikoskov's best attempts to try and give a fighting chance to Finland, it did not materialize, and thus it will be once again the red side in the lead, 2-1.
Yeah, a bit of a role reversal in that regard. Marmeladi getting a lot of speed towards the halfway mark. This time around, maybe even more favorable as we see a early mistake coming in from Andy. So Norway left to fight with 2 players at the time being, Dumle and Sinks, who are in top 3 for now. So definitely a situation they want to find themselves in, knowing that they are down a teammate. Wufeli, though, wanting to get some headway in, but unable to match the line that Sinks is putting down, and in fact overtaking Mikoskov at the same time as well. Great performance from the Norway player, as Finland is just left to look at what's going on. They already made a mistake early on. We surely can do something about this, but no can do. Unfortunately, it's going to be a simple 1-2 combination from Norway to pick up another round in their favor. Doing a phenomenal job here on their pick. And while we do see that, in particular, Marmeladi is doing a great job here on 16, and Mikoskov and Wufeli trying to support, it's very much looking like Norway has made the right pick here. And while we don't still know who is in the lead in the match right now, is it Finland?
I don't know. If anyone's been following the match from the outside, and
Could
can actually
matter.
fill us in on who's actually in the lead, it could be good. But yeah, for me, it was very much a case of yeah, Dumle and Sinks very much dialed in and managing to pick up the pieces when needed. Because even when their teammate went down, they're like, okay, now we need to actually put the pedal down on the floor and just try to get first and second locked in. Oh, unfortunate touch from the left rear for Dumle, but immediately, once again, his teammate Sinks and Andy Baguette coming in to save the day. And despite Marmerlati's win, Finland are not going to see any point going their way, despite Boveli's attempts to try and stay in a favorable position. It's a second, third, and fifth place that will once again net the red side the point that will put them on map point, potential match point if they're in the lead. Once again, we just joined mid-match, but still 4-1 for Norway, who are looking very, very dialed in.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's what it's nice as well about team competitions, right? It's not necessarily about just being the fastest player, it's about doing it together as a team. And where Finland was already down in this map in particular, early mistake there coming in as well from Mufli does mean that Finland is left to grasp at straws and hoping for perhaps some error on the side of Norway, but Damle, Andy, Sinks, all in top 4 right now, all set up to win this round, win this map, and potentially the match. We're going to have to ask in a little bit, but Marmelati left alone at the top, wondering where the rest of his team is. And Dumle does get the overtake in the end, so regardless of the situation, even if there was support, that's still going to be around for Norway, and with that, map number 4 going their way. I see GG's, but GG's don't say a lot.
Yeah, they don't say a lot for now. Unless they're followed by a good luck for the rest, then you know the match has ended.
Exactly.
But yeah, that overtake from Marmerlati, that overtake from Dumle on Marmerlati was prompted by, I think, Marmerlati basically just clipping at the very top of the plastic cube that's at the edge of that, at the very end of that, you know, swaying chicane there, chicane that goes on the plastic. And that was enough of a discrepancy to allow Dumle to just sneak in at the very last minute to get the point on the board for sure for the Norwegian team. But it does look like it was a 2-2 situation after all, because we are switching over onto 11, which is the decider map as picked by the randomizer.
Yes, RNG has spoken, and 11 is the place where we will determine who is the best of the Nordic lands, at least between these two. Denmark being in a different match. Not quite sure how they are performing at the moment. They are playing up against, and I need to double check, I believe Turkey was my idea. No, Spain is playing against Turkey. They're playing against Netherlands 1. Oh boy. I feel bad for Denmark. But who knows, right? Maybe they won. Maybe they're doing great. Let's see. Let me refresh. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. So any Danish fans still, you know, hopefully feeling good, but, you know, unbiased. It's going to be Netherlands 1. Clearly, easy clap, you know, like, don't even try. What? But it's not what's happening now. What we have is Norway, Denmark, and 11. I don't think players will go for the cut. We are allowing cuts, just to FYI, but yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think the cut is gonna happen on this one, Chief. This is one of the tracks where I actually saw Granari basically discover the map and also like try to do a little bit of hunting afterwards, and then I saw the cut and I'm like, nah, bro, I can't do that. Even like if Granari cannot really do it, then I as a schmuck sure as hell can't do that. Like that's it. There are some cuts that I enjoyed doing on previous campaigns. Like for me, the most fun one was doing the 20 cuts, because especially pulling those in MM, because well, you kind of have to do that, but it's always like satisfying to hook up. Here it's just like, nah, I'm kind of like, nah, it's just I don't get the feel for it. There's just no ways around it.
I'm just checking real quick as well at the same time, because I found that cuts in general in this campaign haven't been as much as the previous one. Previous one has been a lot. But just looking at results real quick, we still, despite this being on a 2-2 map, right, that we just joined into, still a lot of matches are ongoing, and we've only had one match finish up in the meantime, which was France versus Germany 1. Germany won, picking up the win there with a 3-1 victory. So, so far, Germany undefeated. France suffering there first, so they will be 3-1, whereas Germany is 4-0 so far in the Swiss. So only Netherlands won, the only one with the potential to have that perfect streak. And would mean that Germany and Netherlands 1 will be facing off against one another in the end. But that is enough about what's happening on this side. What we have for you right now is the concluder between Norway versus Finland.
Yeah, and already, right out of the gates, into turn number 3 of all things, it will be Mikarsgolf making a little bit of a mistake and going a little bit too early at the apex, grazing the right-hand side wall, and that will be all she wrote for him, leaving his teammates high and dry, or rather, his teammate Marmelade high and dry, because Wuffeli is not really in any position to help his teammate at all, through no fault of his own, just not really able to kind of have any answer to the piece from the Norwegian contingent, and once again, it will be just a 1-2-3 for Norway. Wuffeli coming back in to snipe our Merladi's 4th place, but it's more of a petty contest at this point, with Sinks locking in at 35-1, 35-2 for Dumle, and Andy Baguette at 35-4, and thus it will be a 1-0 for the red side.
Yeah, Marmelade wondering what happened to his speed right there as well. Very understandable, as just coming out of that slow-mo drop down, just seemed like he definitely lost a bit of pace along the way, as we get ready for another round, and hopefully we'll be able to see Finland perhaps rally themselves forward. Unfortunately, as I say that, Mikarsgolf does hit the side of the wall right there. It's going to be a 2v2 at the moment, though, at the front between Dumle Sinks versus Marmelade and Wuffeli, and Norway does have to lead. Dumle, first one true, the gates going down into the finish on first place. Second and third, was close between Sinks and Wuffeli. Unfortunately, the camera on this track is horrible. But Sinks and Marmelade, same times, but Sinks picking up the downside of it all. But even then, didn't really matter, right? Despite that high time.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's a very funny that I do see the second, like, in 2 different disciplines, 2 drivers driving the exact same time. Although the last time I saw that was like yesterday night for Grand Prix qualifying, and here the letter of the law is clear. Whoever did the time first wins. Here, it's always difficult to kind of like determine the ties, but in this case apparently it was Sinks who was on the worst side of the fence. Oh, Andy Baguette barely grazing the wall on the left-hand side at the entry to the loop. That's going to be leaving Sinks all on his own, battling against Wuffeli and Marmelade. Dumle in P4 is able to make it a 3rd place. No, he actually gets overtaken by Mikarsgolf towards the end, so it will be a point going the way of Finland at last here on this map, and it will be a 2-1 scoreline. But the question is, are they able to capitalize on this particular round and try to show some genuine fighting pace, as opposed to having to basically wait for mistakes from the likes of Andy Baguette or even Dumle to crop in on map 11?
Yeah, it's definitely something you don't want to be counting on, right? A mistake here and there is always nice to go in your favor, but Norway has been looking a bit too solid so far to be able to, assume that is going to be the case. And right now, they are flying an ace formation, solidly in the lead as well, as first, second, and third. All Norway. Oh, look at the cut. Oh, Wuffeli with a crash. I mean, he tried valiantly, but unfortunately just did not quite make it. And even if he did, wouldn't have prevented the result that we see right here. Norway picking up a round of their own, but it will be an ace because of that. The 4Ds from Sinks.
Yeah, I was actually witnessing the POV from Wuffeli. I was like, oh, maybe he could try something happen, but no, he fell short by a decent amount of speed. Not exactly a crash. It was just like, he landed straight on the ground, and was not there to pick up the checkpoint. So we're now going to have a technical pause, because apparently we do have a disconnect on the side of Mikarsgolf, apparently due to a power outage from what we are actually able to see, which always kind of sucks. So we're just going to be taking a bit of a breather for now, and then once Mikarsgolf is back in, then we'll be able to see the conclusion of that 5-game series, essentially, between Norway and Finland, as we get a little bit of a gander at the results. And latest result in India, winning 3-2 versus Wales. Win 5-1 on map number 9, which was the opening map. Then Wales came back with a 5-3 win on 17, followed by a 5-0 win on 22. And then after that, games 4 and 5, India came back at it, with 19 being won 5-2 and 14 being won 5-1.
Solid performance there from India. I mean, India, who haven't fielded a team in quite some time, actually, able to do quite well their time back. They with this will be on 2 wins, 2 losses, so still some room to perhaps even out the track. And I believe we are getting Sake to sub in for this one.
Okay,
Bit of confusion happening
it
as
was a little bit
well.
quick. It's like wait. Like there's
Oh,
okay, he got it back. Just gonna take his. Okay, so
all right,
apparently at the moment that Sake decided, okay, is it okay if I can jump in? Then all of a sudden we hear that Mikoskov is apparently power back on. So
all right, all right, all right.
there. Okay, so we're just gonna hold on it. Hold your horses, guys.
Yep,
We're
yeah,
we're gonna come back with Mikoskov with the intended lineup.
yeah, yeah. So it's we'll see though, because there was an unfortunate finish happening during that. So there was a map reset and
Yeah, so
2 minute warm up.
basically it's a 3-1 score for Norway
Yes,
when the map reset happened.
yes.
So
So
yeah, like there was also a little bit of confusion on the chat with Sinks saying we need 2, you need 3. Okay, 4. So yeah, sometimes math in the heat of the moment can be a little bit tough to actually come about, you know.
yeah, yeah. No, it's exactly. So because of that, we'll just be. I don't know if there is a possibility for them to perhaps fix the score in that regard, just to prevent players to have drive to fix the score. But that is something that I will leave to them. But yeah, for the time being, I mean, honestly, considering this is only round 4 of Swiss, and we've been going for almost an hour, which is the usual runtime for our Swiss rounds. Only 4 matches have concluded. And, well, as I see it, we've got our 5th result in. What do we got, man?
We've got Turkey versus Spain, and it is a 3-2 win for Turkey. They started off by winning map 20 5-0 before following up with a 5-3 win on 21. Then after that, maps 3 and 4 were won back-to-back by Spain. They won 11 on a score of 5-2 before winning 17 on a score of 5-4. Very close rounds there. I mean, I'm imagining on 17. And then map number 19, the decider, went the way of the Turkish team with a 5-2 scoreline for Bire, Droga, Hubabibi and company. And just as we came in, 3-2, the score for Netherlands 1 versus Denmark. Denmark giving it a red-hot go.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very close call right there. I mean, Netherlands won also fielding some of their best. Denmark, who last season around wasn't able to get the players in that they wanted to this time around, looking to get a stronger lineup in. But just cutting it quite close with that loss against Netherlands 1 3-2. But every single map, I mean, no map was a clean sweep, right? 5-3, 3-5, 2-5, 5-2, 5-2. Just all to play for. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these map scores were probably closer than what they seem on paper. But a valiant effort from Denmark. But that does mean that with that, we have 2 teams who have a perfect score so far. Which is Germany 1 and Netherlands 1, both of them on 4 wins for the time being. Players are done with their warm-up, just setting up the score back to 3-1, or just playing it from 3-1 up, probably. Yeah, because we know the score.
Apparently, it's been acted that Sake is driving, so this is effectively live that we're currently witnessing. And Vufeli having made a very, very solid start, and yeah, a bit of a shaky restart on the Norwegian contingent. That is for sure. With Sinks and Bucket being the only ones at the finish line. Well, Dumle finishing in P6, but it will be a 1-4-5 that will be doing a great deal of benefits and a great deal of good to the Finnish team, as they're currently managing to bridge the gap back down to just 1 point, 3-2. Now still in favor of the Norwegian team, who are no doubt maybe a little bit unsettled by that unfortunate breaking proceedings due to the dropout of Mikkelskov. But yeah, it's going to be all about shaking that off and just try to get back into the groove as soon as, and try to get this over with as soon as possible to try and serenely prepare the next round of matches. That we do see Andy Begin and Sinks just running toe-to-toe, tending this together hand in hand, as we do see Vufeli once again trying to go for the cut. Doesn't really make it happen, unfortunately. Once again, 2 for 2. It's not really making it happen. So Sinks, Andy Baguette, and Dumle back with an AAA's formation. 152, 238, 268, and thus we are on match point for the Norwegian side. Sake, Marmarade, and Vufeli have their backs against the wall. They need 3 back-to-back round wins to turn the tide.
Yeah, and perhaps this sub-in from Sake is going to make the difference, but, I mean, looking at that previous round, it doesn't seem like Norway, while perhaps a little bit shaken up, have the pace to get down to it. Unfortunately, Andy just setting up a bit too wide on the first roadblock, and because of that, will be dropping down back. And Finland, because of that, having some potential counterplay in their favor. Dumley and Sinks, the only two Norwegians at the moment in top 4. We'll see if they'll be able to hold on to the Zendi. It's just too far away to really mean something in this race. Sinks having first place. Woofley and Sake on third. Oh no, Sake falling back. But fortunately for him, Dumley is unable to get past Marmeladi. But look at the difference between the two. 7,000ths of a second was what made the difference. And because of that, it is going to be 4-3, or 3-4, I should say. Still in favor of Norway. Still in position to potentially close out the match. But it's getting a bit close.
Yeah, a bit too close for comfort, I'm imagining, for Norway, as Mikkel's Golf is back in and is just going to be acting as expert witness to this particular match with a little bit of an apology. Of course, having power outages sucks, but it can happen to anybody, so nobody's going to be exactly blaming him in this instance.
Nah.
But right now, it looks like maybe Norway is saying, all right, enough time for playing. We're just going to be settling this one for good, with Sinks battling with Woofley. We also do see Dumley and Andy Baguette, but we also do see a resurgence of Marmeladi right now, getting overtaken by Andy Baguette for just 8 milliseconds. And there it is. There's the GG being called in. 5-3 at the end of that final map. A 3-2 win for Norway against Finland. My goodness. And yeah, all it took to spice it up was a little bit of a shake-up on the technical side, but ultimately Finland just wasn't in it. Well, I say just wasn't in it. It's maybe a little bit harsh to say that, but it was this much. It was this much that was missing.
Yes. It very much a close fight between the two. Glad to see this match unfold. It was one of the matches that I already before starting off I had in my mind to watch. So I'm glad to say that we were able to see both matches that I wanted to see today. Where we initially saw Scotland versus South Africa going away to South Africa, but now this Nordic duel between Norway and Finland, and Norway saying that they are the better Nordic country this time around. I'm sure Finland will rally back and find another way to counter that, right? To keep that rivalry alive. But yeah, a great fight to close out the round on that regard. Just looking to see what else we have in terms of results. Is Greater Ireland versus Netherlands 3 is concluded. Romania versus Germany 2 and Estonia, Netherlands 4. Those all have concluded. And 2 out of the 3 have been close. Just to start off, Netherlands 4 have forfeited their match against Estonia, so that's going to be a default win to Estonia. But on the other 2 matches, both 3-2, one going the favor of Greater Ireland versus Netherlands 3. They have not just only taken down Netherlands 2, they've now also taken down Netherlands 3. I am becoming more anti-Ire. My ire is unhandleable. It's unfathomable,
Wow.
right?
Wow. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That was a good one. Yeah, in terms, so I guess you just give an overview of the score. So Greater Ireland 3-2. Greater Ireland won the first map 19-5-1. Then it was back-to-back map wins for Netherlands 3, 5-4 on 06, 5-4 on 15. Then Greater Ireland won 09, 5-2, and then followed that up with the 5-0 win on 25 of all maps. Okay, that is very interesting. Yeah, that is a map of all time. Then Germany 2 versus Romania, and it was a victory for Germany 2, and it started off actually with Romania winning on 09, 5-3, before being followed by back-to-back wins for Germany on 19 and 10, 5-1